lady. Oh.
Who comes here? Lorenzo and his infidel. Lorenzo, welcome hither. If that the youth of my new interest here have power to bid you welcome.
They are entirely welcome. Great.
I thank your honor. And I have reason for it. Senor Antonio commends him to you.
Oh. Well, ere I ope this letter, I pray you, tell me how my good friend doth.
Not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind. Nor well, unless in mind. His letter will show you his estate.
There are some shrewd contents in yon same paper that do steal the color from Bassanio's cheek. With leave, Bassanio, I am half yourself, and must freely have the half of anything that same paper brings you.
Oh. Sweet Portia, here are a few of the unpleasantest words that ever blotted paper. Gentle lady, when I first did impart my love to you, I freely told you all the wealth I had ran in my veins. I was a gentleman. And then I told you true. And yet, fair lady, rating myself at nothing, you shall see how much I was a braggart. When I told you my state was nothing, I should then have told you that I've engaged myself to a dear friend. Engaged my friend to his mere enemy to feed my means. Here's a letter, lady, the paper as the body of my friend, and every word a gaping wound issuing lifeblood. But is it true? Lorenzo, have all his ventures failed? What, not one hit? From Tripoli and Mexico and England, Barbary and India, and not one vessel escaped the dreadful touch of merchant marring rocks.
Not one, my lord. Besides, it would appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. He plies the Duke in morning and the night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state if they deny him justice. 20 merchants, the Duke himself, and the Magnificos of greatest port have all persuaded with him, but none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his bond.
When I was with him, I have heard him swear that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that he did owe him. And I know, my lord, if authority, law, and power deny not, it will go hard for poor Antonio.
What sum owes he the Jew?
For me, 3,000 ducats.
What? No more? Pay him 6,000 and deface the bond, double 6,000 and treble that, before a friend of that description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. First, go with me to church and call me wife. And then away to Venice to your friend, for never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. You shall have gold to pay the petty debt 20 times over. Since you are dear bought, I will love you dear. But let us hear the letter of your friend.
Sweet Bassanio, my ships have all miscarried. My creditors grow cruel. My estate is very low.
My bond to the Jew is forfeit. And since in paying it, it is impossible I should live, all debts are cleared between you and I, if I might but see you at my death. Commend me to your honorable wife. Tell her the process of Antonio's, and say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death. And when the tale is told, bid her be judge whether Bassanio had not once a love. Repent you but that you shall lose your friend, and he repents not that he pays your debt. For if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I'll pay it presently with all my heart. Hear me yet, good Shylock.
I will have my bond. Speak not against my bond. I've sworn an oath I will have my bond. Thou callest me a dog before thou hast cause. Since I am a dog, beware my fangs. The Duke shall grant me justice.
I pray you hear me
I will have my
speak.
bond, I will not hear thee speak. I will have my bond, speak no more. I will not be made a soft and dull-eyed fool to shake its head and sigh and yield to Christian intercessors. Follow not! I will have no more speaking. I will have my bond.
I'll follow him no more with bootless prayers. He seeks my life. Therefore go! These griefs and losses have so baited me that I shall hardly spare a pound of flesh tomorrow to my bloody creditor. Pray God Bassanio come. Then I care not. Notwithstanding, use your pleasure. If your love do not persuade you to come,
then let not my letter.
Lorenzo, I commit into your hands the husbandry and manage of my house until my lord's return.
Madam, wherefore...
For mine own part, I have, toward heaven, breathed a secret vow to live in prayer and contemplation, only attended by Nerissa here. Only attended by Nerissa. Nerissa here.
Madam, with all my heart, I shall obey you in all fair commands.
And yet I do not
but my people do already know my mind and will acknowledge you and Lorenzo in place of Lord Bassanio and myself. Therefore, fare you well.
Madam, your people...
Till we shall meet again.
you, madam,
I don't... Madam, I wish your ladyship all hearts content.
I thank you for your wish and am well pleased to wish it back on you. Now, fare you well. Till we shall meet again. Prayer and contemplation. Prayer and contemplation. Come on, Nerissa. Okay. I have work in hand that you yet not know of. I'll hold thee any wager that once we are both accoutered like young men, I'll prove the prettier fellow of the two.
Oh, why shall we turn to men?
Fie! What a question's that? But come, I'll tell thee all my whole device when I am in my coach. Therefore haste away, for we must measure 20 miles today. I never did repent for doing good, nor shall not now.
Ready, so please your grace.
I am sorry for thee. Thou art come to face a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy. Go on and call the Jew into the court.
He is ready at the door. He comes, my lord.
Make room and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou but leads this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of the act. Then 'tis thought thou'lt show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exactest the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only loose the forfeiture, but touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal. Glancing an eye of pity on his losses that have of late so huddled on his back, we all expect a gentle answer, Jew.
I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by the holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. And if you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You will ask me why I would rather have the weight of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. Well, I will not answer that, but say it is my humor. Am I answered? What if my house were plagued with a rat, and I plead to give 10,000 ducats to have it baned? Are you answered yet? Some men there are love not the gaping pig. Some go mad when they behold a cat. Others, when the bagpipe sings, the nose, cannot contain their urine. For affection, mistress of passion, sways the mood to what it likes and loathes. Now, for your answer. So can I give no other reason, nor I will not, more than a lodged hate and certain loathing I bear Antonio. That I follow thus a losing suit against him. Are you answered yet?
This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty.
I'm not bound to please thee with my answer.
Do all men kill the things they do not love?
Hates any man the thing he would not kill?
Every offense is not a hate at
Would you have the serpent sting thee twice?
I beseech you, make no more offers. Try no farther means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have justice and the Jew his will.
For thy 3,000 ducats, here's 6.
Were every part of 6,000 ducats in 6 parts, and every part a ducat, I would not draw it. I will have my bond.
How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment shall I dread, doing no wrong? The pound of flesh I demand from him is dearly bought. 'Tis mine, and I will have it. And if you deny me, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand here for judgment. Shall I have it?
Upon my power I may dismiss this court! Unless a learned doctor I've sent for to determine this come here today!
My lord, here stays a messenger with letters from the doctor. New come from Padua.
Bring us the letter.
Good cheer, Antonio. What man courage yet? The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones, and all, ere thou shalt lose for me 1 drop of blood.
You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph.
Why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly?
To cut the forfeiture from that bankrupt there.
Can no prayers pierce thee?
No, none that thou hast wit enough to make.
Oh, well, be thou damned, thou inexorable dog. And for thy life, let justice be accused, for thy desires are wolvish, bloody, ravenous, and starved.
Till thou canst rail the seal from off my bond, I but offence thy lungs to speak so loud. Prepare thy wit, good youth, or it'll fall to cureless ruin. I stand here for my bond.
This letter doth commend a young learned doctor to our court. Where is he?
He attendeth here hard by to know your answer, whether you'll admit him.
With all my heart. And here I take it is the doctor come. Give me your hand. You are welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed thoroughly of the cause. Which is the merchant here, and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow, yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful.
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that!
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives, and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself, and earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follow this strict court of Venice, must needs give sentence gainst the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and the forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Oh, yes, here, I tender it for him in the court, yea, twice the sum. If that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay it 10 times, or on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. My heart. I beseech you. Rest once the law to your authority, to do a great right, and do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded for a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment. Yea, a Daniel, a wise young judge. How I do honor thee.
Shylock, there is thrice thy money offered thee.
An oath. An oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? Oh, not for Venice.
Why then this bond is forfeit. And lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off nearest the merchant's heart. Be merciful, take thrice thy money, bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor. It doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition hath been most sound. I charge thee by the law, whereof you are a well-deserving pillar. Proceed to judgment. By my soul I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stand here on my bond.
Most heartily I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Why then thus it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
Oh, noble judge, most excellent young man!
For the intent and purpose of the law hath full relation to the penalty which here appeareth due upon the bond.
Wise and upright judge, how much more elder art thou than thy looks?
Therefore lay bare your bosom.
I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Grieve not that you have fallen to this for me.
We trifle time, pursue sentence.
A pound of that same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most rightful judge!
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
Most learned judge. A sentence. Come. Prepare.
There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond, take then thy pound of flesh. forgetting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are by the laws of Venice confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Oh, upright judge. Mark, Jew. A learned judge.
Is this the law?
Thou thyself shalt see the act. For as thou urgest justice, be assured thou shalt have justice more than thou desirest. Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture to be so taken at thy peril.
The devil give him good of it. I will stay no longer questioned.
Tarry, Jew, the law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted by the laws of Venice if it be proved against an alien that by direct or indirect attempts he seeks the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half his goods. The other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the dukes only, against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst, for it appears thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant. Down, therefore, and beg mercy of the duke.
But thou shalt see the difference in our spirits. I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth it is Antonio's. The other half comes unto the general state, which humbleness may drive unto a fine.
Aye, for the state.
Pray take my life, but pardon not that. You take my house when you take the prop that does sustain my house. You take my life when you take the means by which I live.
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
So please the Lord, my Duke, and all the court, to quit the fine for one half of his goods I am content, so he will let me have the rest in use, to render it upon his death unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. And for this favor, he do presently become a Christian.
He shall do this. Else I do recant the pardon that I late pronounced here.
Art thou contented, Jew? What dost thou say?
I am content.
Clerk, draw a deed of gift.
Pray, give me leave to go from hence. Yes, I am not well. Send the deed after me. I will sign.
Get thee gone. But do it. How sweet the moonlight sleeps upon this bank. Here we will sit and let the sounds of music creep in our ears. Soft stillness in the night become the touches of sweet harmony. Look how the floor of heaven is thick inlaid with patines of bright gold. There's not the smallest orb thou beholdst, but in his motion like an angel sings. Such harmony is in immortal souls. But whilst this muddy vesture of decay doth grossly close it in, we cannot hear it.
I am never merry when I hear sweet music.